Call the meeting to order. Roll call vote, please.
Larry Hall. Hoppy.
Here.
Kerwin.
Here.
Van Dyne.
Here.
Kirby Hall.
Here.
Persick.
Here.
Studer. Tudor.
Here.
We have a quorum.
You are declared the regular meeting of the Wilmington City Council on November 19th, 2013 is now in session. Council, you have before you the approval of the minutes for November 5th regular meeting and November 12th special city council meeting before you for approval.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve the minutes from November 5th and November 12th and placed on file.
A motion by Alderman Hoppy, do we have a second?
All second.
Second by Alderman Tudor. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Hoppy.
Yes.
Tudor.
Yes.
Kerwin.
Yes.
Van Dyne.
Yes.
Kirby Hall.
Yes.
Persick.
Yes.
All yes. Motion passed.
Mayor's report, just a few things to report. First off, just want to continue to extend our thoughts and prayers to all those who were involved in the tornado. Several tornadoes, I should, over this past weekend. Not showing any greater difference than others, especially for our neighbors in Coal City and Diamond. There was a lot of property damage. Thankfully, nobody lost their lives in the process. To say that we were not impacted, we were. To a greater or less extent. We did lose power at our water plant in one of our subdivisions, in O'Brien subdivision. Hopefully is on tonight. They've been out since the storm. The last word we got, they were trying to get them powered up tonight. But I can attest to one thing. When I went over there after the storm to the water plant, we were without power, but to see the city crew guys and Jack, especially the guys at the water plant, putting together their game plans and everything else, while me and Tony were trying to make those calls out to ComEd to try to get our critical equipment online. We ended up not getting power back on the, I think, late last night. So we utilized generators and everything else that we could to keep water to our residents. We did get out to the residents that, to conserve water, which helped a great deal, which allowed us to keep our tanks full and allow us to maintain the levels that we needed during the time without any power at the water plant. So I want to take a special thanks to them guys. Also, I'd like to announce our new wastewater operator, Mr. Darren Fowler, who is here in the audience tonight. Darren, if you want to stand up.
Hi.
Darren, I had the pleasure of meeting him Saturday at the water plant. We were all standing around the generator because we couldn't get the generator on. It was going up on high temp. So Mr. Sermon was actually transferring water, and Darren was running around with Pat to make sure we had all our lift stations operational. So he started Sunday, and it was definitely a crash course.
Trial by fire. Oh, well.
He's still here.
Yeah.
He's good to go.
So, thanks, Darren.
Thank you.
Also, just to make notice, the Chamber of Commerce Holiday Parade and Tree Lighting is scheduled for Saturday, November 30th. I believe it kicks off at 5:30.
5:30.
Thing here.
It starts off 5:30.
Yeah, it starts off at 5:30. A lot of cool stuff they're going to be bringing to downtown this year. They're going to actually have 20 ice carvings downtown. And they'll actually have the person that's doing the ice carvings actually doing one live there during the whole process and everything's going on. So should be an exciting night, chilly night, fun to warm, but hey, long range forecast call for good weather, so just cold. But it's always a nice thing for the chamber to do, and for the businesses, and as well as not-for-profit groups to get out there and display their floats and stuff. So it's always a good event. So that's all I have tonight for the mayor's report. Citizens' comments. Do we have any citizens' comments tonight?
I hope all of you have a very nice Thanksgiving.
Well, thank
And
you.
invite to Tony's house for dinner.
Well, thanks, Tony.
He's just sitting there.
Wow. That was nice.
I told my wife to get more, you know, she's doing the cooking.
Directions will follow, right?
Yeah, directions will follow. Mike and Tanya, I think you have a citizen that wanted to
Yeah.
talk. I'd like to bring up,
I own a property on 202,
Mike, could you just state your name just for the record?
Mike Michalowski, and I own the property at 202 South Water Street in Wilmington. And it's right on Jefferson, and it's Jefferson Street in that area there by the electric tower is a very congested area, unrestricted parking, and it needs a little supervision in the parking situation there. First of all, there's not enough parking for the businesses that use that area to park, which is the dance studio. My suggestion to the city is I'd like to offer my property up for sale to the city to make a larger parking lot right there. It'd be more convenient for all the other businesses if you could have a bigger parking lot with spaces, sewers, and convenience of in and out, you know. And I think my property definitely would be a good location to extend the parking lot, which is only the street right now. So that was one concern I'd like to bring up to the board. Another concern, say if you don't want to buy my property, I would like to have a, what you call a license, so I can use it. I talked to Tony and the engineer here, Kobe, and they said the paperwork will be drawn up, and I'd like to find out more information about that. So I also wanted to, if I don't sell my property, I'd like to have a commitment with the city for that sidewalk sharing program, because I'd like to put a driveway in there on my property. I was already reviewed by the state and they accepted me, so I'd like to go ahead with that progress, you know, process. That's what I wanted to bring up.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Mike. For those who may not be aware, Mike has been to the Water Streets and Alleys meeting, so he has met with staff, and we're looking at every angle that Mike's brought up as well. So, if anybody has any other questions, please ask Tony or Kobe, and they can.
What, they were gonna bring in to the next meeting, like an aerial view of exactly where the property is and what we're
Correct.
talking about.
Correct, and he's met with Kobe, and you know, that's why he looked at the license deal and everything else. So Kobe will put a report together in regards to, you know, what every approach is, what's the best approach for the city, and the engineer's opinion, and then go from there. All right, any other citizens' comments tonight? All right, next one is Planning and Zoning Commission. Before we go with the motion, just to give everybody a heads up, last Thursday it was, Recville, was it last Thursday? Planning and Zoning had presented before them the property a lot of people call Kangley's Curve, the church property, here for rezoning from R1 to B3. The Planning and Zoning Committee was unanimous in their vote to approve the rezoning. We do have Mr. Stanton here, who is the owner of the property. Pat, if you wanted to say anything, or if you just want to allow the council to add any questions for you, if that might be best for you.
I don't wanna say anything.
So this kind of basically was rezoning. There was also the conditional use, I believe, with the drive-through for the current building that sits on there right now. That's just part of the process. That could change as other things are done down the road, but that's what they're looking at right now. So you had that motion?
I sure do. You ready?
Yep.
I move to approve ordinance number 13-11-19-01, an ordinance amending the zoning ordinance of the City of Wilmington, Illinois, as pertains to property located at East Baltimore Street and County Road, Wilmington, Illinois, to rezone said property from R1 to B3 with conditional use of a drive-through permit for the current building.
A motion by Alderman Persick. Do we have a second?
I second it.
Second by Alderman Hoppy. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Persick,
Yes.
Hoppy,
Yes.
Kerwin,
Yes.
Van Dyne,
Yes.
Kirby Hall,
No.
Tudor,
Yes.
5 yes, motion passed.
Thank you. Their next scheduled meeting is for Thursday, December 5th, 2013. I believe they do have agendas on the docket for that, correct? Yeah, we do have agenda. City's on the agenda.
Yep.
All right, committee reports, building grounds, parks, health and safety, Alderman Persick, Alderman Van Dyne.
Mr. Mayor, the next scheduled meeting is Wednesday, December 11th at 2013 at 6 p.m.
Water, sewer, streets and alleys committee, Alderman Kerwin.
Mayor, next scheduled meeting is Wednesday, December 11th at 5:30 p.m.
Police and ESD, Alderman Tudor.
Next scheduled meeting is Tuesday, December 10th at 5:30 p.m.
Finance administration, land acquisition, and the Alderman Tudor again.
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve the accounts payable report in the amount of $783,310.37 and the October 2013 collectors report in the amount of $253,603.01 as presented by accountant Kim Dolio.
Have a motion by Alderman Tudor. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Kerwin. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Tudor,
Yes.
Kerwin,
Yes.
Hoppy,
Yes.
Van Dyne,
Yes.
Hall,
Yes.
Persick,
Yes.
all yes, motion passed.
Next one, Mr. Mayor, I move to approve the estimated annual aggregate levy of the year 2013. This tentative tax levy is available for public viewing. The public hearing to approve the 2013 tax levy is scheduled for December 17, 2013.
Have a motion by Alderman Tudor. Do we have a second?
I second it.
Second by Alderman Hoppy. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Tudor,
Yes.
Hoppy,
Yes.
Kerwin,
Yes.
Van Dyne,
Yes.
Hall,
No.
Persick,
Yes.
5 yes, motion passed.
Next scheduled meeting is Tuesday, December 17th at 6 p.m.
All right, ordinance and license committee, Alderman Hoppy, Alderman Hall.
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve ordinance number 13-11-19-02, an ordinance adopting the International Property Maintenance Code.
A motion by Alderman Hoppy. Do we have a second?
I'll second that, Mayor.
Second by Alderman Persick. Any discussion?
Now, we approved, we went over this at the
Committee?
property
Ordinance
ordinance,
license
yeah,
committee.
ordinance and licensing.
Yeah, we went over it many times.
Okay. And
We've
then-
had 3 meetings.
And then the lady from the International Code was here last week talking about it.
Correct.
And so, once we vote on this, then that means that this will be put in place.
Correct. Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Hoppy,
Yes.
Persick,
Yes.
Tudor,
Yes.
Kerwin,
Yes.
Van Dyne,
Yes.
Hall,
No.
5 yes, motion passed.
One more item there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right. Your
There's a special
meeting.
ordinance and licensing committee meeting will be held on Thursday, November 21st at 6:30 p.m. And the next regular meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, December 10th at 6 p.m.
And the one for this Thursday is dealing with the raffle,
Right.
correct?
Correct.
Yes. So everybody knows. Fun. All right.
It'll be over tomorrow.
Personnel and collective bargaining, Alderman Persick.
We have nothing to say.
City Administrator report, Mr. Graff.
Yeah, I received a press release from the Island Park District. They're having a meeting at Hayden's Crossing this Thursday from 4 to 6 p.m. to talk about their plans for the acquisition of the property in the downtown area and other future ideas and plans for the Park District.
So they changed that meeting from the Park District? They were going to have a meeting in the Park District? No,
It's actually Hayden's Crossing.
Now it's at Hayden's Crossing. It's an open house type meeting
Oh.
to anyone that's interested about their ideas and proposal for plans for the fitness center and other things they're thinking of doing. It says in the press release. So, actually, the press release came from the Pam paper, so we didn't even get notified from the Park District. I'll turn over to Kobe, catch up on some of the projects. You want to talk about Conrad real quick or no? How about Henry?
No,
Uh,
they're out working.
Yeah.
All
Thank God
over.
they're working.
Well,
They're out working all
before I get
over.
started, I can tell you one thing, Tony has been out there every chance he gets with all the power failures. He goes up there, he finds the crew foreman, and gets the answers we needed, because, I mean, I'm constantly texting him and calling him saying what their status update, so he's been very good at, using the right approach to get to the comment queues, as well as our government affairs officer to make sure we're on top of our electrical issues, so.
Thank you, Tony.
Thank you.
Start out at Ridgeport, Design Road, they're looking to start pouring the PCC pavement probably tomorrow to extend that Design Road west of Kavanaugh Road to the transload facility out there. Back in town, our 2013 MFT project's completed. All the streets and alleys that were discussed are all done. Basically, what's left is some restoration, some cleanup along the streets that still need to be taken care of. Our North Island parking lot, Deer Creek project, the North Island parking lot, the pavement's all completed. They're supposed to be here today to start striping the parking lot. They'll be here at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. So the parking lot will be all striped and taken care of. The last thing we got to do is the signage along Baltimore Street. So the guy's been here a couple times, but without the striping, he can't do that. But talk to him today. Once this gets striped, he'll probably be back next week to take care of the signage and pretty much take care of everything with the parking lot. Deer Creek, all the surface has been placed on the roadways. The black dirt sidewalk has all been completed as well. Still some restoration, some cleanup needs to be done over there as well, which most of you are aware of. And the big one across the street, the police station, the foundation is about 90% excavated. They'll be back first thing tomorrow morning around 7 o'clock to finish doing that. Mancuso will be on site first thing tomorrow to start framing the footings, and they're looking to pour those on Thursday or Friday. So once the footings are poured, they'll sit for a few days, probably till after Thanksgiving, and they'll start pouring the foundation.
And dovetailing that, we do have to go back to the planning commission for public hearing variance. When we flip the building to where it's facing toward the parking lot now, we still need the corner, it's a corner lot. In our zoning code, corner lots, you have to have a front on both sides of the street. So Buchanan and Robert Wedley, we got to have 40-foot setbacks. We don't meet that at this point. We went back for the variance last time. It was for just Buchanan. Each time we have to ask for Robert Wedley. So that's been scheduled. The public hearing will be December 5th in regards to asking for that variance. It's still sight distance wise, and for the cars coming up the intersection, we're still within that parameters to where we will be able to see around the corners with no problem at all. And so that'll be the only other change from the discussion we've had is the sidewalk will get removed on Buchanan. And it's probably a good thing when we started thinking about, do we want the public actually walking alongside that part of the building, which is really now the back part of the building. And plus that's where the Sallyport entrance is going to be, so now we won't have that pedestrian going across that driveway. There is room on the water, where the water tower is. We did talk to the resident that lives just to the south. Kobe and I went up there, and because the sidewalk's going to go right between his trees and meet up right where his sidewalk ends on his driveway, he was okay with it. He says, great. He said, actually take those bushes out if you can. That's why you're doing it. And that actually connects, when you look at the sidewalk system, that actually connects with the crosswalk in front of Trinity. When you have the sidewalk on the other side, you would have to go across, go over to Trinity, and take the sidewalk down Buchanan that way. So it really is probably for the better way for pedestrians to, if they use the area. And all that concrete that'll be removed, the fire district has offered up us to bring any concrete to the Booth School demolition. They're going to have the concrete, what I'm going to call the chopper. They're going to chop it all up, and grind it all down, and they're going to use that to put back in their foundation at no charge as long as we can deliver it. So the contractor is going to receive all that concrete, along with all the concrete we took out of North Island from that old Public Works building. We had that stored up by the Stewart Street. So we'll be bringing all that concrete. They are getting ready to go on booth. You've been by, you see how the equipment's starting to show up. They are doing some minor demolition right now, removing some concrete and things, but I think you'll see the wrecking ball, as I would call it, probably start working on the building in a week or so, and that's soon.
Are we gonna be delivering the concrete, or our guys, or is it gonna be ISO?
For the removal here, it's all part of the contract. They'll deliver the concrete there because they have to remove it. Normally they would take it to landfill.
No, okay.
So as part of the revisions that we've done, you will see a change order because there is some extra work that had to be done. We're looking at that change order cost right now. I think it's going to be somewhere around $10,000, which includes that sidewalk and removal, and then refacing the building. They had to do some extra work there. So we're looking at about a $10,000 change order from ISER. It's still within our budget with $2 million. So yeah, we'll now come to, we'll probably bring that to, we change order, probably bring it to Finance Committee. So we should have that change order. The one thing that Kobe didn't bring up was the MFT project. Remember, we had that little change order going on there. We're still within budget with the new quantities and doing the extra work that we did do an extra alley. But he'll have a report ready for you as soon as everything gets all built. But he was tracking it, and we were still about 1,000 into the good.
No, we're in good shape with that. We're definitely in good shape with that.
So that project came in when we promised you guys that it would happen.
Tony, I do have one question, and I'm sure it's being addressed, but with the police station and the changing of all that, something you said triggered. Is there going to be another stop sign put in at that intersection? Has that been discussed at all?
No. You can try to make it into a four-way stop instead of what it is now. Yeah, he'll have to look at the warrant. Yeah, it might qualify with that building. You're right.
Okay.
That'd be a good thing, probably.
I just know that on any given day, there's been some concerns voiced before, and with additional traffic, it may become an issue.
Especially with emergency traffic
Right.
coming and going. So
Just a thought.
yeah, no, it's a good thought. Wouldn't think about that one. So that December 6th is when we're gonna we'll get something out to you guys about going out to the building out in Elkhart. Where Durazio has offered up transportation for us to drive out there, some type of van that they might give us, so it'll take 6 or 7 of us. The one thing we will have to be very careful is under the Opens Meeting Act, traveling together. If more than 3 elected officials are traveling together, we'll probably talk to our attorney about how we post that. Violation of.
How long of a drive is it?
Yeah, how long?
Almost 2.5 hours to 3 hours. So it's,
I'll drive.
we caravan too.
Yeah.
And he even offered up a couple vehicles. We wanted a caravan instead of one big vehicle. Might be a better thing to do instead of all of them in one vehicle. Then we got to worry about the Opens Meeting Act.
As long as you don't talk about city government, then you're okay.
Oh, we can talk
We'll talk about the Hawks.
We can talk about anything.
And the Bears.
Keep us posted on that, that's.
Yeah, be able to go out and they're going to set up for us to be out there to see it. What you doing?
All right, attorney's report, Mr. Irvin.
I have nothing to report tonight.
All right, the city's next regular city council meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, December 3rd, 2013 at 7 o'clock. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? We're adjourned.